March 15th, 2023 EST, a news story claiming that Miles Guo was arrested by the FBI in the United States seemed to have spread like wildfire across the media outlets, both at home and abroad. Major overseas media such as Bloomberg, Reuters, CNN and BBC were among the first to report, and Chinese domestic media even put it on the trending searches. At this moment, many people want to know, who is Miles Guo? What has he done? Why are so many media suddenly reporting on him? With these questions in mind, let's take a closer look at this Miles Guo, whom you may not know. Miles Guo was born in 1970 in an ordinary rural family in China. He was independent-minded from an early age and was known as a children's leader. At the age of 13, he started his business and he owned an expensive motorcycle at the time before 19. In 1989, a nationwide anti-corruption student movement erupted. Miles Guo sold his motorcycle and donated the money to the protesting students, which completely changed his fate. In the same year, Miles Guo was arrested for supporting the protesting students. During the arrest, his younger brother, aged 18 years old, was shot by the police and died 2 days later because the police did not allow the hospital to treat him. Miles Guo was also imprisoned in Qingfeng Detention Center for inciting counter-revolutionary crimes. During his time in detention, he became friends with political prisoners and received their knowledge and social connections. He also witnessed dozens of political prisoners being taken out and executed. After being detained here for 22 months, he was released. In 1991, Miles Guo founded a joint venture, Yuda Real Estate in Zhenzhou. In 2002, he founded Zhenquan Real Estate in Beijing and constructed the famous Pangu Plaza in Beijing. In 2003, the deputy mayor of Beijing attempted to take over the Pangu Plaza project. Miles Guo fought for 3 years to regain control of the project, which resulted in him offending Wang Chisholm and many officials. In 2012, Wang Chisholm became the secretary of the General Commission for Discipline Inspection and began to arrest those who had offended him. Miles Guo heard the news and fled to Hong Kong. He then arrived in the UK in 2015. In January 2015, Miles Guo's family and employees were arrested at the Pangu Plaza. In January 2017, Miles Guo began to disclose information in the United States, exposing the private children and numerous overseas assets of Wang Chisholm and others, as well as the relationship between Wang Chisholm's family and Hainan Airlines Group. The authorities were highly nervous about the disclosure, and in order to threaten him to stop, they publicly tried his family and employees, confiscated his assets, and fined his family's Beijing Zhenquan Group 60 billion RMB. At the same time, the authorities launched a counterattack and smear campaign against him, his disclosure in the media, portraying Miles Guo as impotent and a rapist. In the same year, Miles Guo accepted a VOA interview, which was originally scheduled for 3 hours, but was abruptly terminated on the air when he spoke about Wang Chisholm's corruption. On the same day, the Interpol, chaired by CCP official, issued a red notice against him. In 2017, the CCP attempted to lobby the Trump administration to extradite Miles Guo, but they were unsuccessful. On October 4, 2017, Miles Guo's speech scheduled to be held at the Hudson Institute was unilaterally cancelled by the Institute due to pressure and hacker attacks from the CCP. The next day, he held a press conference titled "The Darkness Has Come" at the National Press Club in Washington, warning that the CCP would take measures to disrupt, weaken and kill the United States in the Western world. In November 2018, Miles Guo established 2 non-profit organizations, the Rule of Law Fund and Rule of Law Society in New York. These 2 organizations played a significant role in the subsequent whistleblower movement and the NFSC activities. At the end of 2019, following the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, Miles Guo provided the world with the most important information, saving countless lives. In January 2020, he confirmed for the first time to the world that COVID-19 could be transmitted between humans. In February 2020, he informed the world that COVID-19 was a biological weapon released by the CCP. In November 2020, he warned everyone not to trust Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine. In August 2021, he first revealed that the artemisinin is the antidote to COVID-19. All of this intelligence has now been validated by facts. On June 4th, 2020, Miles Guo announced the establishment of the NFSC with American conservative leader Steve Bannon. The primary mission of the NFSC is to overthrow the enslavement of the Chinese people by the CCP and to liberate the Chinese people. To fight Miles Guo comprehensively and force him to stop revealing information, the CCP launched a legal, unrestricted war against him. The CCP and its agents have filed more than 70 lawsuits against him, resulting in him spending over 1,000 hours in court in recent years. Since 2017, Miles Guo has live-streamed over 6,000 times with a total duration of more than 10,000 hours, dedicating everything he has to anti-communist efforts. He lost his mother in 2019 and his father in 2022, but he couldn't go back home to pay his final respects to them. His family members and employees have been arrested and abused repeatedly, and his family assets in China have been almost completely frozen. However, none of this has stopped his determination and pace in his fight against the CCP. Popular phrases such as "everything is just beginning" and "have you worked out today" originated from Miles Guo. The important political stance of Miles Guo and his leadership in the NFSC are that the CCP is not equal to China and the CCP does not represent the Chinese people. The G-Series, H-Coin and A10 project were wealth Noah's Arks designed by Miles Guo for the people of the NFSC. Some people say that Miles Guo is a war god fighting against the country alone, while others say he is a fraud, but he laughs off these comments. In his comeback livestream after his father's wake, he said, "I want my 8th brother in heaven, the countless warrior of June 4th who were shot in the Qingfeng detention center to look at me at the moment when the bullet passed by before being shot. Want them to know that I am the least heart on earth." What do you think of a man who once had a fortune of tens of billions but is now targeted by the power of the nation? Do you really believe that Miles Guo, as the FBI claims, would deceive thousands of people for $1 billion?